Hi guys, and welcome to World of Warcraft tutorial part 2. I'm Buddy1927, and today I'm actually going to show you how to create a new character. In the last episode we did go over the general basics on how to start the game, and did go over some of the basics of starting a new character. And in this episode I'm actually going to show you how to make a new character, and also what's the word I'm thinking of? How to create a new character. Okay? First, you need to click Create New Character. And there's our new character. But one thing that you definitely want to do, excuse me guys. One thing I am going to do is I'm actually going to show you some of the things you need to look at when you're making a new character. Click on More Information is down here, and it gives you two things. First, it gives you the race's abilities and the class abilities, which we went over the class abilities in the last episode. So this time I'm actually going to go over the race abilities. I'm actually going to blow that up for you, and I'm actually going to move myself over to here so I look important. So we're going to start off with the human. Now the human has an increased spirit, bonus reputation gains, increases experience with swords and maces, and can break out of speed altering and trap effects. So as a human, if your main thing is, you should always have at least one toon that can gain good reputation with all the factions. Let me get a little bit into that. You got two factions. You got the Alliance and you got the Horde. Inside each of those factions, you got sub-factions, or I call them clans, like the Stormwind clan, Ironforge clan, and stuff like that. The humans can actually gain reputation within those things a lot quicker than other characters. And you also have reputation with your guild for each toon. So every time when you join a guild, you have to build your reputation up in the guild to be able to do certain things, be able to purchase certain things from the guild vendor. And it's the same thing with Stormwind. If you go to a Stormwind vendor, sometimes you get more of a discount because of your reputation with Stormwind. And there's also a Stormwind guild vendor, not guild, or clan vendor, whatever you want to call them, where you can purchase certain items from that vendor depending on what your reputation is with that clan. So that's very important. Now this character, the human, also has an increase in spirit. If you're a healer or even a caster, you need spirit to help heal and cast. So a human actually makes a good caster or healer. And because they have a good reputation with swords and maces, they also make good paladins or warriors, because they use that for melee. So that's one thing that you want to take a look at when you looking at the races. You want to take a look at what their benefits are versus what you are actually going to play, and kind of put them together. Next, you got the dwarfs. Now, a dwarf may take stone form, increase experience with ranged weapons and maces, resilience to frost, find additional archaeology fragments, and survey faster. Now, archaeology is one of the skills that you can learn, and I always recommend that you have at least one person that does archaeology. And if you're going down the Alliance side, it should be a dwarf. And the reason behind that is the archaeology, you go to different sites and you end up trying to collect fragments and put them together and all that, and you can make special things out of them. You can get armor, weapons, and stuff like that. Some of it's bind to account, which means as soon as you pick it up, it's not bind to account. Bind on pickup. Sorry. Bind on pickup. And there's some that isn't bind on pickup, which if your character can't use it, maybe one of your other characters could use it. So that's one of the benefits of being a dwarf. They also make good paladins because of the weapon skills. The main thing that a dwarf was, and they are actually good hunters, and they are actually the main hunter for the alliance side. We have the night elf. Now the night elf can fade into the shadows, move difficult. Sorry, my tongue is tired, guys. Is more difficult to hit. Can whisper while dead and move faster, which basically means you die, you get resurrected in the grave. It means you can get to your body faster than anybody else. Resilient to nature damage, fast movement while stealth. They actually make good rogues, to be honest with you, and that's one of the advantages of them, is they actually do make good rogues. They also make good shadow priests, because once you get to a certain level, they become a little bit more stealthier. So they also make good shadow priests. Gnomes may escape from speed altering effects, increased mana pool, resistant to arcane damage. Now, here's the thing. Their engineering skills are increased, and increased experience with daggers and small swords. First thing is, it has the engineering skill increase. You should always have, either in your guild itself or in your lineup, a engineer. And there's several reasons why you need to do that, and I'll go over that when we go over the skills of the engineers. But it's always good to have one. So a gnome is actually a good engineer to get. They also make great spellcasters, such as a priest, a mage, and a warlock. And the reason that is because of the mana pool, because all those classes actually use mana. So you got an increased mana pool, which means you can actually do more spells longer. They also make good rogues because of their skills with daggers and small swords. And that's basically what rogues carry. So they make good rogues. We got the Draenei in here. They have a jewelry crafting skill increase, may heal himself and others over time, a chance to hit with melee and spell increases, resistance to shadow damage. So first thing, they actually make good jewelry crafters, which is another skill that you need to learn and you should have either in your guild or in your setup. Because as you get higher in level, your gear actually develops slots where you can put gems in there. Plus, when you get higher in levels, you can start wearing necklaces and rings on there, and sometimes you get benefits for that. So if you can make your own, hey, it's a lot cheaper than buying it from somebody or buying it off the auction house. Now they also make good healers, especially a shaman healer or a priest healer, because they can heal themselves and others over time, and they got a chance to hit with melee and spell increase. So they make good healers and spellcasters because of the chance to hit it with it, and they also make great tanks because of the melee, be able to hit with the melee. So that's it. You got the Worgen. Now Worgen can periodically move quickly. Critical chances are increased. Resistance to nature and shadow damage. Skinning skills and speed increase. Okay, their job, they are actually good in DPS because of the critical chance increase. They also could be good healers and good casters. They actually make good hunters too because of the critical chance increase. And with skinning, they also make good leather workers. You combine skinning and leather working together because their skinning skills, they actually can skin a lot better and a lot more efficient than any other race. And one of the things that skinning does, gives you a little buff on anatomy, which means you can hit a little bit more precisely the higher your anatomy skills go. And that means you get more of a critical chance. So overall, they are a good DPSer and somewhat of a good healer. Next is the orc. Isn't she beautiful with that lovely green complexion with that nice spiked hair? Now, an orc may enrage to increase damage, resistance to stun effects, damage done by pets increased, and increased experience with axes and fist weapons. Okay, so orcs actually can become a good hunter because of the pet damage increase. They actually make good shamans because of the experience with axe and fist weapons, because the higher the level, the shaman can actually wear 2 fist weapons and do a lot of damage with those fist weapons. So that's what you want to look at, is what their skills, what the race of skills is compared to the classes that they're actually doing. Now we got the undead. They can remove fear and spell, remove fear, sleep, and charms. Now, this is a little gross here, guys. They actually consume corpses to regain their health and mana. So once they kill the enemy, they can eat them. They're cannibals. Can drain health from enemies and resistance to shadow damage. They make actually good shadow priests, and the reason why I say that is because they can drain health from enemies overall, and that's one of the things that a shadow priest does. It drains energy. So with that helps them do that. So they actually make them pretty good shadow priests, and also pretty good warlocks. Taurians may stop stunning nearby opponents. Maximum health increase, herbalism skills, and speed increase, and resistance to nature damage. Okay, they make excellent tanks. I have a level 90 paladin tank that's a Taurian, and he does an excellent job because of that stomp effect right there. That helps out a lot, especially if you're tanking. It helps you gain the aggro that you need, and also stuns them so you can hit them a little bit more and get them really pissed off at you. So that's good. They also, because they have a maximum health increase, they actually have a little bit more health than anybody else, and that's one thing you want in your tank, is a lot of health. The more health you have, the better you are, the less likely you're going to die, and it's a lot easier on the healer to heal you. So that's another reason why they make good tanks. Now, herbalism skills, they also make good healers, because the herbalism skill, if you have one that's doing herbalism, and it has that bonus for the increase in the herbalism, the herbalism skill actually gives you a healing effect, so you can actually help heal yourself and maybe some other people around you. So they also make good healers, and that's also good for a tank to heal himself over time. Okay, we got the trolls. Now, trolls have berserk increasing attack and casting speed. regeneration can increase. Damage increase versus beast. Increase experience with ranged weapons, and reduce duration of movement impairing effects. Okay, the first one, that makes them actually a good hunter and a good spellcaster. Because of the berserk that they get, they can actually increase their attack and casting range. Casting speed, so they can cast a little bit faster. They can also regenerate their energy, because depending on what you have, you use it helps them regenerate their mana. Depending on what you're doing, you got. I'm trying to find the one. Yeah. The hunters consume energy, so it helps them regenerate the. It helps them actually generate the energy a little bit more. And because they actually have experience with ranged weapons, that's what a hunter uses, is a ranged weapon. So that's another benefit for them to be a hunter. Now we got the divas of the horde. Horde. And what they have, the blood elves have an enchanting spell increase. You should always have an enchanter in your guild or in your toon lineup, because enchanting lets you enchant stuff, gives you buffs on your gear and stuff like that. So you always should have an enchanter. Can restore resources such as mana and energy, so they make good spellcasters. They can silence nearby opponents, so they actually make good pally tanks, and resistant to arcane damage. I actually had a pally when I first went to the horde side. I actually had a blood elf paladin, because they were the only ones that could be paladins until they changed it and allowed the Taurians to actually become paladins. They were the first paladins and only paladins in the horde side. So I enjoyed playing my blood elf, and they actually made halfway decent pally tanks and healer. We got the goblin. Okay, they can rocket jump forward, they can launch rockets into the enemies, receive vendor discounts, can periodically summon a personal bank. They have a haste increase, and alchemy skills are things. In the next part I'll get into a little bit more, but they also make good banker toons. I always recommend having a banker toon. I'll get into that the next episode. But they make good banker toons. They also make good casters because of the haste increase. They can cast their spells a lot quicker. And because of the alchemy skills, you can make certain potions as a caster, for a caster, that only you can drink. So you can make them a priest, a shaman, a mage, or a warlock, and they will be good in that role. Now, last but not least, we got our Pandorian. Can join either the Horde or the Alliance. May put enemies to sleep with a touch of their hand. Their inner peace means twice as much rest experience, increased benefits from eating food, cooking skills are increased, and bounce and take less falling damage, which basically means they actually make good monks. And when Mist Pandorian came out, that's when this class started, was the monks. So they do make good monks. And I always recommend you have at least one toon that concentrates on cooking. If not all your toons, but at least one toon that concentrates on the cooking skill. And that is because the higher the levels that you get, especially with cooking and in your toons, you get certain benefits while you eat food. And if you have somebody that can actually make the food for you, that's a lot cheaper than going to the auction house and buying it, or begging your friends who have done the cooking to do that. So that's one good thing. They, like I said, they make good monks. What we're going to make today, I'm going to go over the customization. We're actually going to make a dwarf, and I'm going to make him a male. I'm going to drop this so we don't have to see that no more. And close the more information. And what we're going to do next is click customization. Oops, we're going to click back because I'm actually going to make him a shaman. Okay, so he's a shaman. This is what he will look like, and those gloves are actually fist weapons here. So that's why it's good to have a jewelry crafter to make fist weapons for your other toons. So he's good. And what I'm going to utilize this toon is to be my archaeologist. And like I said, I always have at least one toon that studies archaeology. And he's going to be do that because, if you remember, let's pop that up again. He finds additional archaeology fragments and surveys a lot faster. So that's the reason why I'm going to make him my archaeologist. I haven't figured out what other skills I'm going to do with him yet, but that's his main purpose. Is he's going to study archaeology and become an archaeologist. Okay. Next thing, what we need to do is customize. Okay, we go with skin color. You can change. Now each character has different selections of what you can do. I'm going to use that for that. We got our faces, and you can select the faces that you have. You really don't customize that much. Not like if you're doing Sim 3, where you can customize the face a lot better. You just can select from what is there. We're going to do with a hairstyle. You can choose from being bald to all kinds of things. So I'm actually going to use that with a little ponytail on the back with the little braids there. Hair color. I actually like the hair color that he has, but I'll show you the other ones. You can select from different type of hair colors that you want. I like that bright red because they have an Irish Scottish brogue, and I'm actually Irish and Scottish, so I'm actually going to go ahead and select that color. Kind of match my hair, what you can see of it. Now facial hair. Now dwarfs are not clean shaven. They all have beards of some type. What you gotta do is basically select what type of beard that you want for your toon. And I'm actually going to select that because it kind of matches the ponytail with little metal thingies there. And I kind of like that because you can also see the tablet that he wears. So that. The other thing you can do, you can always click randomize, and it'll give you a randomized character. And while you're also here, you can also change genders. And from there, that's it. Next thing you need to do is actually name your character. I'm actually going to name this character First Set. And then you click finish. Now, if that character's name is not available, it will tell you. But that's my shaman. And what I'm going to do next is actually place him into the world. And I'm going to show you the starting area. Or actually it's opening. Each race has its own opening screenplay. And we're going to take a look at that.
Great change has come to the enduring halls of Ironforge. Obsessed with the workings of the Titans, the dwarves retrieved their creator's mystical tablets from the fabled city of Ulduar. Activating one such tablet, King Magni Bronzebeard fell prey to a terrible curse that fused his statue-like form into the diamond heart of Ironforge itself. To compound this tragedy, Magni's estranged her infant dark iron son. To avert civil war, the dwarves created the Council of Three Hammers, an uneasy coalition that would share power equally amongst the clans. Now, with political upheaval rising within the kingdom and the great cataclysm ravaging the surrounding lands, the future of Ironforge falls to brave dwarves like you.
Okay, and we are here. And what I'm going to do is I have another account. and I'm actually going to pull that account up and actually have him join that guild that I'm in right now. So and that's the guild. So join guild. And the reason why I do this is that way I don't get bombarded by join my guild, join my guild, join my guild. So that's basically how you customize a toon. You gotta make sure you try to get the benefits from everything, and from there you can build your toon pretty good. Because you gotta remember one thing that's very important. At level 1, the character is one thing. At level 90, the character is something totally different. So if you get the right buffs and benefits from both the race and the class itself, plus I'll be going over this in a couple next couple parts, is the skills that you learn. Now, in part 3, I'm actually going to start talking about economy and how I set up, when I get onto a realm, how I set up to actually make gold, which is very important in World of Warcraft. So, also, just to let you know, I've started a new store. It's called Buddy1927 Gaming. And if you decide you'd like this, you can actually buy World of Warcraft on my gaming site. And you can also buy gaming cards, time cards. So you can buy a 60-day game card there, and to help increase it. There will be a link down below in the description of this video. And as always, I'd like to thank you if you get a chance. If you like this video, like us on YouTube. If you have any comments, leave the comments down below. I'll try to answer them the best I can. Also, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, because you never know when my next video might come up. And I have other videos other than World of Warcraft, so you might be interested in those too. So if you subscribe to my channel, you know when my next video comes out, you might enjoy it. So I'd like to thank you again for watching, and you all have a good day.